All right, everybody. It says we are live. I am trusting that that is the case. Do y'all see the same thing I see? It says we got it. I got it. Yeah,
I got it.
Yeah. So welcome, everybody. We're live. This is Friday with the ladies, and I am the bus driver. So y'all know everybody here. We have someone joining us new this week, Courtney. And so Courtney, welcome. Then we have the regulars, the one that truly shows what determination and commitment is. Jules, how are you, my dear?
I'm well, thanks, and hello, everybody, and thank you all for your gifts and talents.
I'm digging that. And let's see, I have Gaia. How are you doing, Gaia?
Doing good. Glad to be. Love to see you all.
You're looking fabulous. And Nina, good to see you. You feeling good too, baby? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Always reminds me of Sammy Davis Jr. But anyway. And Dan Aykroyd and Steve Martin, remember the Lasky brothers? Yeah. We're going to go down and find some chicks. But anyway, speaking of chicks, how are you, Nina?
I'm good. How are you, Wayne? Oh,
what an intro. I mean, you got to love that. I mean, that just flowed. I love it. So good to see you. And Linda, hello.
Hi, Wayne. How are you today?
Any better? I'd be guilty, but I was never that innocent to begin with. So, and I'm feeling rather fabulous. Got got new glasses now. So, yeah, all the world is all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I see the world through. There's Jenny. So I see the world through a new perspective. So you lost your glasses, or did someone hide your glasses?
No, well, I don't know. I don't know how they ended up behind my bed, but I have one of those beds that's automatic, like you raise up and down.
Yeah.
So I got stuck between the headboard and the bed because there's like a gap, and I was trying to get in my.
Now, let me get this right. So I'm picturing the bed goes up this way, and I'm picturing your head is probably how did that end?
Well, I had to pull myself out.
I bet you did.
That's too funny. But the glasses fell through, Linda?
They fell between and went underneath the part of the bed. So yeah, I'm literally like down inside the bed. Yeah. My feet are sticking out. The alarm's going off to tell me it's time for the show. I'm like, nobody's here. I might die stuck in this bed.
I was going to say, there's 100 metaphors I could just build off on this. I mean, it opens itself up to it, so to speak.
That's so good.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Let me tell you, laughter doeth the heart as a good medicine. So if you have laughter on a show, dig it. So hello, Jenny.
Hey, Miss Hi.
Haven't seen you in a while.
It's been crazy. I came in on a crazy moment there, I think, with Linda. Just had visions that being stuck somewhere. But yeah, I've been stuck somewhere. I've been stuck in this weird energy. The days haven't even, I don't even know how many days I've been away. I don't know how many hours I haven't slept, and I don't feel like I haven't slept. But I realized I started exhausting myself with this energy, this force that just wanted to, it felt like keep me in a loop. Keep me in a loop that wasn't of my making or my determination or anything. So it's been really quite deep, I've gone hell for leather doing DIY while just being in complete intercession, really fighting a force that is me. Ultimately is what I came out with, is that there's lots of other participants that have been attracted in, whether that be attracted in by light or attracted in by dark, or the duality of me. But I entered into even loose fitting contracts that I've entered into that have been vampirous. I've been unpicking those. I haven't looked at my phone. I haven't looked at my laptop. I've literally been outside of this realm, outside of this world dimension, while sort of unpicking all of that, if that makes sense. Very, very deep. And I can't even tell you when it started, but I know it stopped, you know. So yeah, crazy. I've been stuck down some kind of bed, like Linda.
How odd. You're the third person that has sent me an email of a similar nature. So
Yeah.
I mean, last night I was
Interesting.
visited by Pythagoras. I mean, what the
Oh.
freak is going on, you know?
Ancient ones. Yeah, real
Yeah,
ancient energy
mean,
coming
you know,
forward. I felt like I'd seen
I didn't
so
even know
many-
who the freak Pythagoras was really all
Yeah.
about, you know?
That's what I thought would be a journey.
I'm going, okay, all right.
But
What was
yeah,
the message that you got, Wayne?
Pardon?
Yeah.
What was the message that you got?
It's
Yeah.
really odd because he spoke and I could not hear his voice.
Oh,
Could you feel
speaking in
the
frequency.
message?
Oh, the spoking that what he said, he introduced himself, you know, okay. But it's, yeah, I don't know. What I read this morning is that this is kind of like an quote unquote, an initiation. Apparently he was an individual who would not let his initiates even talk to him until they passed to like the level 3.
So
And
he
so-
refused to enter into contracts because he's
So, yeah.
dangerous to do so.
So apparently I have some internal work to do to get to apparently that next level, because if he returns, apparently that when you can hear him speak.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's not all talk at one time, please.
Wayne, you're the second person that's told me that Pythagoras has visited them. My
No
friend,
shit.
Recently?
yeah,
Wow.
my friend
Yeah.
Dee Dee had him visit her last week. Yeah,
Oh,
She didn't know
really?
either. She had to look it up. Yeah, she's like she'd heard of the name, but she didn't know like what he was all about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Geez, and now we're all going to have a Friday night date. We're all going to be dating Pythagoras tonight. Awesome. We're all calling him in. Like, yes, I'm not busy tonight at all. Come on in.
Well, she has quite a few come to her. She had Poseidon come when she was asking her family to give her any messages they had, or she did a family altar to try to connect with her ancestors, and she didn't have a lot of money, so she used like stuff she thought was cheap, like milk instead of alcohol. Like she used some stuff from the dollar store. And she's lying in bed and she's meditating, and all of a sudden she opens her eyes and looks over, and her husband just sits straight up in bed like this and goes, "I'm here. What do you want?"
Oh, wow.
Well, so much for the freaking romance on that one.
Then you start sleeping on the couch.
I mean, if my wife sat up like that and spoke to me, I'm going downstairs. Thank you very much.
I'm grabbing the sage.
Yeah, they have some-
Exactly. I'm going to get the sage, and because we already can't sleep on the bedroom, our master bedroom. That it's got a strange energy in there. I mean, it's not a bad energy, but he sits up and says, "Here I am. Talk to me."
Interesting.
I
Love
would
it.
be asking questions myself, but you know.
That's
Yeah.
really the proper
Yeah,
approach.
me
You
too.
know, it's like
Yeah.
these shows that these people who go ghost hunting, and so when they actually find, I guess, an intelligent spirit, they run away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't that what you wanted? You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Jules, you're being quiet over there. What's up? It's like
I'm
Hollywood
just listening.
Squares for me, by the way. This is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I just need Paul Lynn. Gaia, you're the center, so you're Paul Lynn in this thing. So,
Okay, I'll take it.
little tic-tac-toe going here. So Jules, what's up?
I'm just listening.
It's 4 a.m. for her. Poor Jules. Oh, we adore you.
No, it's good. I'm an early bird. It catches
Me
the
too.
worm.
Yeah.
That's why I used to
There
always
is
say
a
to
magic
people,
time right there in that when
There
you
is, yeah.
that you can see it if you get really there. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's that moment. It only lasts for a few seconds where light really begins to shadow in. It's far out.
Yeah.
So anyway, Jules, 4 a.m. Is the sun up yet?
No. But
No.
there's that bloody bright star out to my right, which is supposedly Venus that moves around.
So you are at the optimum. Can you see Venus out your window?
Yeah, I can.
So do you see Saturn above there? And if you go further above that, you'll actually see Jupiter.
Yep,
you should-
there's,
You should see 4 lights, 4
I can
planets.
see 3. I can see 3 at the moment.
All right. Well,
Venus,
so that Saturn,
and then the other 2 above. But if I went outside, it's probably
you'd see the other one.
Venus,
Yeah.
it is so huge, and it looks like this. It's, I don't know. We took a film the other night. We were outside and we were videoing. Colleen was videoing, and it was moving. It was shaking. It was vibrating, and it was going like this across the sky.
Oh, I want to
Really?
be with Jules. Oh,
So Jules,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
when I was really into the Nibiru thing, the interesting thing about where you live in the world is we here in the Northern Hemisphere really don't have a conception of what the sky that you see
Yeah.
and the sky that we see.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we have the Southern Cross
You
down
do,
here, which
yeah.
there is actually, you can look up and it looks like there's 2 of them actually. Where I
Doesn't
am,
the original people believe that that is actually the real world, and what we see here is kind of just the duplicate kind of world?
Oh, that's interesting, because I always joke about the north. Everything that's set in writing is always to do with the Northern Hemisphere. We're ahead, like I always go, we're ahead of you, but everything's always like, if it's going to be Easter, right? It's because it's spring. That's what it's all about, you know. But we're not in spring. We're going into autumn.
So you're
Right.
going into death.
No way.
No, I mean metaphorically.
Yeah, I
You
know.
know what I mean.
Yeah,
you know.
I know. I'm just here. I know. But
That
that's
specter
really-
behind you that just told me, come on. But anyway,
Yeah,
but I'm
so I
serious
always
about this. You see a different sky,
Yeah.
and I'm convinced that it's a different energy.
Yeah, well, through all of my writing, and this is always only my perspective, right? As everyone knows, it's your truth. We here in Australia, if the originals are the originals, right? They've been around, whatever. They have a prophecy that Wirechan, which is white man and black, all colours come together, right? And this is this time they've had this prophecy. And even though prophecies and all karmic stuff's finished, I was given that information quite some years ago that karma had left us. But anyway, we're going to show the world how this of coming together of communities going to happen. And when I connected with our tribe here, the Kabi people, I got this one gathering. We come together unitedly, a whole group of us, and there was so much information that resonated with me. I've said to the tribal elder the other day, I said, I've had this knowing for a long time that here in town, our community, because it is such it helps everyone, that we're actually going to show the world through community how to do this restoring of the planet and getting back to nature. And that's when he said, well, it was the prophecy that we were all going to come together. And I said, look, I know I'm not black. Well, he's not, he's got it in him, but as far as I know, I don't have any. Well, we have, but, my parents are white and their parents were white. So,
Yeah.
But it's just from all my writing I've done over the years, I've had that innate knowing that we were going to, that's just where I have this such feeling, because of the group that we're gathering.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah. It's
So the sky probably does prove
Yeah.
that that's what we're going to do. If, go back to the sky.
there is a knowledge that has been lost esoterically, I believe, because if you look at the occult and paganism, it's primarily a Northern Hemisphere occurrence. The cradle of mankind, the enlightenment of mankind. And it seems, again, that the southern half of this planet is almost been separated from that type of a consciousness. And there was two roads being developed.
Well, my surname sort of has something to do with paganism, with pain.
Mm-hmm.
And in Hebrew, it actually means face. So it's a reflection, isn't it?
It is.
Mhm.
And I often wonder, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Can I ask a question then? Because I'm curious, because Easter for us, and I assumed everywhere, is really still from the moon. It happens. So you have the spring equinox, and it's the first Sunday after the full moon. Hence why it's this Sunday here, because the full moon is Saturday. So if you're going into the fall, the autumn, is it still Easter there? How does that work?
Well, we celebrate it because
That's wild.
That's why we celebrate it.
It's interesting. It's almost like looking in a mirror. In the north,
Yeah.
we have this thing, as you just said, Courtney, is that for us, the tradition is it's newness of life. It's symbolic of Christ rising out of the grave,
And
et cetera, et
that's
cetera.
Oh, I love the balance.
That's like a infinite capsule, isn't it, of life? So it really is the balance of the scales, isn't it, of
Wow.
divine feminine, divine masculine. I feel there's a lot more masculine energy in our hemisphere than there is in the Australian hemisphere.
That's right. That's what we've
like
been told.
Yeah, you feel like a womb to me when I read a lot for Australia in the general readings last year and the year before, especially for the Aboriginal peoples, and it felt more divine feminine than divine masculine. And the masculine's very much become corrupted, and therefore the feminine in our hemisphere has too. So I got a bit emotional when I listened to you there, Julie, before. For that is a beautiful balance of the scales that you see and feel.
And also what's going on globally, but the elders come together a few weeks ago and served papers to the Governor General and our Parliament. We have two Parliament houses. We have one that really is the true Parliament of the people, which is old government, old Parliament. And then they built a new Parliament, which is the corrupt corporation. And that was mirrored. And that's what's being broken down at the moment. That's why I mean there's things being set up at the moment as a parallel, because our Prime Minister's election is in May, and there's stuff going on that's where people are setting up to be a parallel, so you vote for the people's government. So that's going on at the moment behind the scenes. But what it was the tribes come together, and there was the male representation of the male tribe, and there was a male representation of the female tribe, and they've never come together as a connection. And that happened at this gathering. And at that moment, I knew that it had balanced. I knew that.
Wow.
And I think, sorry, Jen, what'd you say, love?
It's like they absorbed each other for the first time again after a long time. They absorbed each other.
They've never connected. They had never, that was something that never happened.
Isn't it? Yeah, that's where unity is, though, isn't it? Wow. Yeah. Because
I got chills when you were talking, Jules.
Yeah. Really
this is freaking profound when you think about it.
Oh, it is. It got me emotional. It really feels what you said. It really did, because it's so easily done because they're doing it now with the metaverse type, building a whole other world, a whole other dimension that many are going to enter into within this one dimension. So there's these split offs, isn't there? So where unity like that can be happening, I mean, that's huge, because it will have a ripple effect like a pebble throughout all of these different structures of dimensions of reality that people have been pushed into or entered into willingly, you know, through complacency or whatever.
There's a huge
Wow.
energy coming on the 24th that's coming into the planet. And that's our 25th, because of course it's happening in the 24th in the Northern Hemisphere. So that's our 25th. And that's the day we celebrate our Anzac Day, which is the New Zealand and the Australians, when they went to war. We have this Anzac Day, because that's what we call it, is Anzac Day. So if you think that this day could have been a miraculous energy day, and of course it falls on our day when everyone's going to be thinking about war, but it won't be that. The energy that's coming in is to clear a lot of, a lot.
Well, think
and
about
it's
what's
gonna be
happening here.
powerful. It's
Full
powerful.
moon. You've got
Okay.
the planetary alignment, and which is really weird because it's the alignment of both the inner circle and the outer circle. Speaking of the solar system, and
And I
as
think there's
go ahead.
tribes in Ecuador doing the same thing now, letting the women come into the tribes in, I know it's Ecuador, that are been there forever, like the Aborigines, that they wouldn't let the women forever, I mean, hundreds of years now, be a part of anything. And now the women, just this past year, the women are a part of their ceremonies. They are holding these women up as sacred beings again. And so it's happening with Jules. It's happening in Ecuador. It is happening. It definitely is.
Another thing, yesterday we had a music event, and a group of us girls were together, and one of the girls that used to work in a Chinese shop when she was younger, she told them she was a tiger. Like, this is the year of the tiger, and we're 3 days apart. We turned 60 at the same, within 3 days. And she said in China they used to kill all the tiger girls. And I said, because that's the power that's why they kill off the tiger girls, because they know how powerful they are.
The divine feminine is that canvas that holds up the divine masculine. So again, they know that they pull the rug from both divinities within people if they strip away at the mother, because the mother's the womb that carries, isn't it? So even if you have a difficult relationship with your own mother, for you to go down the avenue of hatred or regret of that being your mother, just nasty energies towards that mother, you take away a bite of yourself each time. You're eating yourself because you're eating the part of you that was created, literally built you. And so that goes out on a wider scale, doesn't it? On a cosmic scale. You strip away the mother, you hide anything away and strip away, abuse it, it becomes distorted, it becomes like a humpback, it becomes, so there is that shake-up of divine feminine energy that is coming out, or has been already coming out quite negatively. I feel from a lot of the males, like it being, and it's almost like they're being challenged by their own divine feminine waking up, and you can see them fighting with it. But then
that's really all it is.
They're fighting with it. Yeah. Terrified of it, terrified of this mother within them waking up that will forgive everything, will love everything, will give understanding to everything, will let go of everything. And so the seasons that are happening within people, I see, is that there is a lot of conflict. It's what I've been in a beautiful dance with conflict over the however many days. And it's the conflict of those loops that I needed to break. And it all came down to balance in the end. And it all came down to let go yesterday. For all of the dance that I did, for all of the struggle that I did, for the force that I felt move within me, around me, it was a case of the last and final step in all of the movements was just to let go. And it just went, you know, and so simplistic. But I couldn't have done that 3
It's all
years.
meant to be simple and easy. It's not meant to be hard.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think sometimes that unpicking the hard is what you feel, isn't it? That's what you can feel here. And that's how you can unpick even more. I feel like it's when you take it personally, when you feel regret or pain or disappointment in yourself or others, that's when it starts to eat away at you. But when you can look at it and say, okay, I see you.
There's a bigger truth here too, Jenny.
Yeah.
And that is that because I experienced it this week, if you learn to walk away, it doesn't have any control on you.
No.
Correct.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's probably the epitome of what I would call sovereignty.
Well, it is, yeah, because you go out of yourself, don't you? And even that, I stopped wanting for a few months ago to call the higher self the higher self. It felt like I was trying to get to the point of explaining to people how to encapsulate all aspects of self without a hierarchy. But there is a hierarchy, but that hierarchy is okay. And it's okay to give that reverence and say higher self to that aspect of self, because you can go out in so many distractions, looking for the governor, looking for the authority, looking for the power. And it's always at that higher point within self, isn't it? And so you take away your air, you give it to so many different things, people, aspects, avenues, and it all takes away air from that internal upper fire, doesn't it? Where the flames move up. And so that flame just gets smaller. But when I felt myself coming back in and breathing those words onto the fire itself, my fire, that's it. Everything else just dispersed. Everything else, all of the other aspects that weren't of my higher self, just disperse. You know, I can't even palpate them anymore. I can't even see them anymore. So yeah, it is about it's about coming back in again, you know, going out for a swim, coming back in.
So ladies, the rest of y'all been, Linda, you are just as quiet as a mouse over there. And, you know, not your.
I think, because I was thinking about 4 weeks ago, it would be 4 weeks Sunday. I remember I was in the living room and I'd been having like these weird experiences, you know, lots of energy around me. And I started having really bad cramps, like menstrual cramps. You know, I don't have a cycle anymore. So I was like, what's going on? And it lasted for like 24 hours. It was pain to the point of it felt like labor pains. And I was talking to a group of my friends, and when she was like, man, that happened to me too. And she said, you need to go, like, there was a post made by a group that we're in. She said, go look at that. There was over 350 women in there that were mostly post-menopause that were saying they'd had the same experience, and they were all saying they had visions of being cleansed through the womb, that a lot of women were absorbing like energies that were coming through to cleanse and be rebirthed, which I thought was wild, because I've been in that kind of space. Like Jenny is this weird, funky energy until 2 days ago. And I actually started having a cycle, and I haven't had one in 2 years. And these women were experiencing the same thing. Like they were 60 years old, you know? So I'm thinking, to me, it was like the divine feminine is really taking on some stuff right now and trying to clear some energies and help, you know.
Now, I just got a question. Has any one of you had the jab?
No.
Okay. I've heard that women who have started their cycle again, or those younger ones, have like the cycles are a lot worse. So I was just curious.
Hey,
There's
Linda,
lots of paperwork out about that too.
Linda, when did that happen? I'm curious, because something else was going on. So you said a few weeks ago?
It was four Sundays ago from tomorrow.
Was it around the spring equinox?
Yes.
Which would have been, okay.
Yes.
So at that time, Gaia is birthing the new earth, baby. So we all felt it.
Yeah.
So for us women, it was like, what are these labor pains? What is going on? So a ton of us women that still have parts and whatever. I'm not trying to exclude the men, but the women who have the parts, we were all feeling a lot of, she was birthing, she was beginning to birth the new earth. And so that's my take on it, because a lot of us were feeling it.
Yeah, I assume there was probably a lot of women going through it that you just didn't hear from. But I was just shocked because one woman explained she had actually had a vision, and I wish I could remember everything she said, but it was so profound. But she had a vision of meeting with a goddess that was telling her exactly what was going on and how it was helping Mother Earth. And so I assume that I told everyone, probably most females have got some kind of, and then I hear Jen telling me she's been in this, weird space. And we cannot
be who we once were in this new earth. And especially for us women who have been, I mean, I don't really try to stay in the paradigm of we've been trapped or anything. I try to not go there, but in all essence, we kind of have been. With us coming out, us rising with Sophia, Gaia birth and a whole new earth, we are so very attached, and so are the men. I'm not excluding men, but we are so attached to this whole process that our entire bodies are shifting, changing with her, because, well, everyone is creation, everyone can create, but is the feminine energy, as Jen was talking about, that really does the work. And so we're all feeling it, and our bodies are changing, because of it. So breathe, just breathe. That's all you got to do.
Like, how amazing though that we felt that when the duality of it here very much so is that they're literally trying to hide the womb and its reproductive process by saying to doctors that they have to ask bearded men, could you be pregnant? Literally there's new rules in the NHS now that they have to do that. So dualistic wise, you can see how powerful this movement of wombs has been.
Yes.
Because they're working so hard to make the womb disappear and its functions. So that shows to me as well, like, great victory, because if they're having to work so hard to try and disappear the woman again, then to me that shows, and speaking to you ladies, wow, when women live together and they start a cycle at the same time, they start to just intuitively have their cycle at the same time. We used to have menstrual tents, didn't we? And and that was, so that to be moving through all of this space, all of these women, I mean, how powerful. It's amazing.
And what's the spiritual implication? I mean, this is, if we're seeing it manifest into the physical, I've been at this a long, long time. That tells me that someone has been doing the work in the ethereal realm, because nothing manifests here unless the work has been done over there.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that joy in you, Jules. What's up?
Of course we have.
Well, sure. No, I mean, it may be stating, the obvious, but it's interesting when you begin to see the physical manifestation of a thought. And it's more interesting because from a male perspective, I know that there is a place where a male cannot go. To quote the movie Doom, there's only a place where the woman can go, the female. Males are not allowed in there. We're only allowed into the temple by your permission.
That's right.
That's just the reality of this.
That's true.
And so, what I'm hearing from a male perspective is telling me that there is a profound shift here.
It is.
Yes.
And if it showed with the representation of the divine feminine with all of her parts throughout the whole earth, that's profound.
Whoa. Yeah.
So, Nina, go ahead.
Yeah, I pulled
I'm sorry.
sorry, I pulled a card while you guys were talking about all this, and asking, you know, the goddess, right? A message here. Butterfly maiden came up, which is all about transformation.
Mm.
And so I'll just read the card. It says, you are experiencing enormous change, which is exactly what you're talking about here right now, which brings great blessings. Now, as I was meditating on the card, I noticed on the one side of her, it looks like the earth is kind of like on fire, or it's all like scorchy. Well, that's kind of the vision that I had actually last year about the earth. We're going to be going through a fire. There's going to be a huge fire to cleanse, okay, and transformation. But at the end, though, you know, I see this, you know, look how beautiful it is, right? All the colors and everything is coming to life again. But there's definitely a transformation, a change, you know, and I guess some of you are literally feeling it in that way, you know. So yeah, interesting.
I saw the astral blue flame as you were talking. That's
Yeah.
Wayne, it's interesting too, is about that same time, I think I sent it to you in an email. My friend and I, Dee Dee, that are so connected and we channel off each other a lot. We both had the same dream the same night of being in a burning building with young women that we were, and I was getting the women out of the building and we were going to another place. And in her dream was a little more detailed. We were actually part of it was almost like a coven, and we had young women that were under our tutelage, and they all had gifts and talents, and they had all their memories. We knew who we were. We knew what our gifts and talents were. We didn't have them doing anything as children. We just let them play and have fun, she said. But as they started getting older, we would say, okay, now it's time for you to start developing this skill and this, you know, and continued on up until adulthood. But she said there was the boys, the men had their own place, but they didn't want their place. They wanted the females' place. They wanted to come be with the females. So they came and set the building on fire. They're the ones, she saw them come over and she said, you know, and we were just getting the girls out. And I remember the young girls just being really calm and saying, come on, it's okay. We have somewhere else to go. And we were just, I was leading them out of the building, you know, so it's very interesting. I do a lot of work in my dreams, so I get a lot of stuff from there.
I think there's a lot of dream workers here.
Yeah.
You wake up sometime more tired than you went to bed and you're going, I slept well.
It's interesting here for me. I've been shaking since the equinox. I mean, shaking inside. So it's okay. But I noticed I'm in nature all the time because I live on a ranch and but the animals are different. Yeah. It's more like we're all one. We're all in the same. We always are, but it's just normal. It's like we're all in the same plasma.
Yeah.
Different birds are coming in. And the other day, this beautiful, amazing duck, never seen it before, huge white duck came and was on the porch and just talking to us and flew off. Those things are happening. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
It's almost like we're living in Dr. Dolittle.
Yeah. But I feel really grateful that I'm in it because it helps others. In fact, it's amazing.
Well, you know, they say that man and animal used to talk as we used to be able to talk to the plant kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if this transformation of what I see, this wonderful it's not only a congealing, but it's a coming together. Why wouldn't we be able to not speak to the animals? I mean,
that's actually, I think, where it starts. Personally, I think people should start trying to practice that before we start trying to do it with other humans, because animals are so much more open to receiving communication back and forth.
We are an animal, and
we are.
I feel
hey,
if we learn to
Theodore.
communicate with the animals, we can communicate with the humans who are the animals as well. Easier and softer.
Yes, and it goes back to what Wayne and I were saying about permission. I mean, you can't just tap into somebody's psyche without permission. That is a no-go. That is a violation. Right. Animals are so much more receptive. They're like, yeah, I got a lot to say.
But you know, when we have a program here and it's called Riding Beyond, and it's for women who PTSD, breast cancer, need some help from the horses. But there's a way that we move with them with the horse. You don't even step into their energy right away. You're talking to them seconds, 5 minutes before you get there.
Yeah.
And I've seen miracles within, with these women. They've changed. Some have, a couple have healed, themselves and their psyche and their people. But you're exactly right, Courtney, that you have to ask permission first. In the West, riding or that way is, get over here, horse, put a bit in and then let's do this. No, this is, you talk to the horse. It's amazing. And the horses I've seen a step up in them working with the women.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is interesting because this whole thing about permission is something that's not taught about. I mean, it impacts healing, it impacts his finances, and it also impacts into the spiritual realm. I mean, I ask permission a lot of times when I'm entering in a realm in the ethereal that, I don't have any business there. It's not my space, but I'm traveling through, and I think that is what's lacking so much, even amongst the quote unquote enlightened. They forget to realize it's permission.
Yeah. Spiritual
It's
ethics.
big.
Yeah. There is those.
Hey, Theodore.
Theodore, how are you? Oh my goodness. Hi,
Look
sweetie.
at that.
Tell Gaia about your horses. Who have we got?
You got horses?
Opal and what's the
Oh.
name? Queenie. Opal and Queenie.
You're getting big.
He is getting big, isn't he?
Yeah, I love you.
Did he get a haircut?
He's had his undercut, but it grows so fast. His curls come so fast. He's got to have
Okay.
Cute.
Because he had beautiful hair. I mean,
He's got his long hair. He's still kept. He wanted.
Okay.
It's so curly that it gets so tangled up, doesn't it, Theo? So he wanted the long and the short. So we said, okay, we do hiking, baby. Then we do undercut.
There you go.
It doesn't get as tangled up for him, but it is a bit tangled today, isn't it?
He's got golden fork.
He's fell in love with a golden fork.
Oh,
Ah.
I like that fork.
That's what you said, isn't it? You said, oh, it's golden. It must be for me.
There must have been something in a former life that,
Well, to what William shouted, yeah, golden child, as I keep saying.
That's it.
speak it and it shall be. That's all I've got to say. This has been I really have enjoyed this conversation, but because it's interesting, because if we're seeing the other planets in our solar system changing, they're all changing. It's here. I mean, we've all felt it.
It's here.
It's here.
And it's only going to get more intense.
Right.
And I
Beautifully
always
intense.
agreed with Jewel.
Beautifully. It's just going to be good. Oh, look, I am so excited. My insides just get so excited.
Yeah, I have a feeling that we may have switched timelines there around the equinox.
Yeah.
Around that time.
Yeah.
I've had other people mention it too, and I've noticed it with myself. Things that I haven't craved in a long time, all of a sudden I'm craving it again now. It's like, well, what happened here? I went a whole year and a half without that. What is
There's
going on?
lots of switches, though. There's lots of switches, timelines where people are just sort of jumping on and off these different timelines.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on a different one now. Like than I was just a month ago. Like, what is going on? Yeah, something's going on. Yeah.
Joy.
I wrote to
Joy.
win and I felt like I'd been
Joy.
Yeah.
Actually, just this morning, I was in the Akashic Records for what I'm doing on Sunday, and they literally could not give me just this morning, because timelines have been shifting since at least 2016. And I'm always trying to explain to people how that works. Yeah. But just this morning, Nina and everybody, they were like, well, Courtney, it's interesting. We don't even know what to tell you right now. As far as like, and I'm like, what
timeline are you on?
Aren't you the freaking librarian?
And it's because, nothing is written in stone. Yeah. Nothing is ever written in stone. Everything is fluid. Timelines do shift. I'll do something over here. It completely changes it over there. You see what I'm saying? So they were like, yeah, we're going to give you the basic right now, but we don't know. So much is moving this weekend.
Yeah.
And I went, okay, I'll check you on Tuesday. So it's,
I wrote
this
something
weekend's very
yesterday. Instead of writing portal, I wrote it as suitcase.
Actually, I get that. I really do. I mean,
And
that's so freaking subliminal that it's like, yeah, man, I get that.
Yeah, it was as it being fluid, but the suitcase has the suit, meaning all of the cards, as in, you know, the elements. And of course, case, I spell it as it's C the ace, which is 1. An ace is 1.
Nice.
And of course, I write field as in FEELD because we can feel it. You know, that's how I write it. And then it had yield in it, right? And I, of course, spelled it wrong. And then I thought, no, I'm going to write it YEELD because ye is you.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like the Akashic the portal, wherever everything's stored, the hall of records, whatever you want to call it, it isn't set in stone. It's fluid in the plasma field.
Plasma field.
And that's what we're tapping into now. Is that's the quantum system that we have actually banked ourselves. That's the new monetary system, is us in what we resonate in our intention. So if you've got an ill intention, you won't be able to play in that field.
Yep.
And that's here on earth. That's happening here. We're not going anywhere because here is in there and here is in where, and he and her are here if you look at the word here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, this is where that separation comes, because I truly do believe that there is going to be this bifurcation. And I think it's only because it's what we're internalizing as positive or negative. I mean, the current that you're flowing into, you could, an opposite current would throw you out.
Well, this is what's happening on the 24th, this energy that's coming in, all the, how can I say it? The ones that haven't been very nice, as I use the analogy, is the Wicked Witch of the West, because our waters are so high vibrational, and I mean everybody else on the planet as such, they just dissolve. They can't stand in our light and our waters, so they dissolve. When this energy comes in, we all heighten our energy, and they can't stand in it, and they dissolve.
I love it, Jules. I love it.
I believe the mainstream media is going to be going down pretty quick here, and that I can see that happening around. Also, Bill Duvendak mentioned, he's an astrologer, mentioned the 28th. Something might be happening around the 28th. So I wouldn't be surprised if literally things are going to be going down. Like
something between now and the end of the month. Yes, by the 28th. 29th or whatever, there is something's going to come out that's going to be wide open.
Yeah, I think so.
Eyes are going to be,
and the month
everybody's going to wake up almost immediately.
The month is ending on a new moon, and it's also first night, you know, so it's a huge occult night, you know, going into May 1st. So that's a big, huge day, and a new moon, and all of this other stuff. Yeah, it's good time.
Well, it is a mother energy, like May, isn't it? May Day, the 2nd of May, Mother.
I think we'll go fire dancing in the sea. Shall we go fire dancing in the sea at the end of the month? Yeah. You can collect shells.
Hey, Jules, do you see in where we're going? Because I see so much more water and fresh water and just green, lush.
Yes, that's it. What will happen is the water will spring from the earth, like there'll be spring. It'll actually, which is really your fontanelle, the fountain inside of you. You know, we're just gonna spring.
Yes.
I mean, it's spring in your hemisphere, but I spring around all the time.
You're always spring.
But
I love it.
I said this to one girl a couple of months ago. I said, years ago we were chatting and you said that like the orbs or there'll be water springing up.
Yeah.
And she says, I don't remember saying that, Julianne. You must have.
Oh. No, it's to the point that's like, we don't need shoes. It can be that nice to just walk around because the water
Who
element
wears
is
shoes?
everything.
Who wears
Yes.
shoes?
Yes. And man, come on, everybody, come on.
I'm loving this. This is really it's a real message of hope that,
It's beautiful. Oh, look, I've had it written in my journal for so long. I can still see the picture. It is so beautiful, everybody.
Great.
Really, it is exciting. I am totally so excited for the whole planet, for everyone on the planet, because it's going to be beautiful. It is beautiful. I've already created that here.
Love that.
Beautiful.
Wayne, I have a question for you.
Yes.
So, do you have you experienced anything being male? Like I know my friend Craig yesterday, he'd been in a funky energy all month, and he called me yesterday and said for the past couple of days he's just been giddy and excited like a little child. Like he's got his inner, he's like a youthful feeling. He's 52, and he said, I've just been like a little boy, like I'm running around, I'm excited, like everything's beautiful, I want to go out and enjoy life. And he said so I was wondering how the male aspect's going, if you have any insight.
Well, how curious that you asked that. Just last night, as I was coming into the den, I told Lynn, I said, have you ever been in a place where it's not a feeling, it's a knowing? And I said, I'm in a place where, I don't know, I call it almost a supernatural peace. It's just kind of for me. And as I told her last night, and she's my witness on that, she says, well, I'm really happy for you. It's interesting because it's a place of sanctuary. It's just a peaceful feeling. It's a calmness. It's a serenity, a knowing. So
yeah,
that's the same thing he
just
said. It's a knowing. That's the word.
It's an inner peace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not a feeling. It's beyond feeling. It's beyond faith. It's an absolute knowing.
Yeah,
and that's what you know in your heart. You just know it in your heart.
Yeah, and nothing else bothers you, and no more. You don't have that struggle that sometimes when you're trying to reach a place. So, and
Wayne, do you think that's trust in your own spark, your own flame, that brings that knowing?
Yeah, I think that may be true. I mean, I love myself. It's taken me 60 plus years to get to a place where I can look in the mirror and I just love myself. I'm not in love with myself. I'm in love with the fact of what this body has afforded me and how grateful I am that the fact that I'm experiencing it.
Yeah.
And there's times when I am just I kneel in just total gratitude, because what a privilege. We're in a time now where it looks to be the worst of times, but yet there's an emerging something that's far greater, that it's beyond mankind's comprehension. And we're a part of that. Yeah. And it's groups like this that I believe in the astral we're building, and that there is going to be this coalescing of many different energies, and it's going to be rather beautiful.
Great.
Actually, Wayne, when I was in the records, I said, because I had never asked him about what we're partaking on with you. So I was really asking for myself, but and they even said, once again, what Wayne is doing, all they said was, Courtney, it's very interesting. And I'm like, what does that mean? And they said, we're going to get back to you on this. And it is because of that, Wayne. People don't understand we are all connected.
Oh, yeah.
So my timeline, other people's timeline, everybody's timelines, who do you think's moving all that around and has to move around to make all this beautiful web of creation happen? So when you put this out here just a few weeks ago, the energy's still moving to even form this beautiful thing that's going to happen. So they are saying, oh yeah, we're working on your behalf, because this is their word was, this is interesting how it's being formed.
Well, you know, the
and
word,
so they're working on our behalf.
I go interesting.
Interest. Yeah.
Into the resting. Yeah.
Nice.
Interesting. I like
on
that.
on the grand scale, to be found interesting by just another creation. I mean, how huge is that? To be of interest to something.
Whenever we choose to do something different, every time we make a choice to change what we always did, it changes all of the energy, all of the timelines, because we're all connected. And so you're making this big change. And sometimes, guys, the cosmos has to catch up to us.
Because we're all that.
Yeah.
We're it. There's nothing outside of us, because we're it.
We create.
And it's being sovereign to yourself. You don't need anything outside of you. It's you.
Yeah.
The thing that I find that, as I've been meditating on this, one of the pillars of this group, and it's the primarily chief cornerstone on this, is trust. I cannot tell you how many people have written and have used that word. They trust. There is trust in this group. And you know, trust is a very fragile, very valuable essence. It actually comes, it's as they would say, as Manly P. Hall would say, it's the ductless glands of that external that comes off of that trust. So this is a group of 74 men and women who have, Ariel, I just want to say hello to Ariel Van Tassel in North Carolina. Letters that have brought me to tears of people who say, I'm ready. Never done anything like this before. Don't know why. One person said, I just feel, and they said, I've meditated on this and I've got the green light. I'm in, so yeah. Linda, I'll be getting with you tomorrow, and Courtney, you've volunteered to help as well. And what we are going to do, I think, is something that will be available to millions of other people. I really do.
I do too.
Yes.
It's got to be simple. It's just got to be simple.
Very simple. And, no more gratitude. And that's what it is. It's gratitude. I mean, how does gratitude get polluted? I don't know how that can happen. Trust, I get. Trust can be violated.
Okay.
Gratitude.
Take for granted.
Yeah. There you go. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Very good, Nina. Very good.
Yeah. Very good.
And that's what prevails in this group. There is a heart of tenderness in these men and women.
Yeah.
Just amazes me. The masculine to the feminine. What a beautiful collection of spirit beings.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Wayne.
Well, thank you all. I mean, I'm just driving the bus.
I know. We need a bus driver.
I call them Fridays. For me, is my romance day. It's the one day a week I dedicate to having romance, and romance really is being excited and have mystery with everyday life. Just being in romance of everyday life. But I dedicate Friday for that. So I have to say, all of you beautiful women, and Wayne, all of you, I have had such a wonderful romance for the past hour with you ladies. It's just been lovely.
That's why I like Fridays. Y'all make it happen. I'm the beneficiary here. I mean, I get to soak all this up. Someone wrote me and said, yeah, you really do have favor on you. I said, yeah, you better.
Yeah,
that's right.
I mean, to be immersed in here, I feel like Paul Atreides, I put my hand into the fear box,
Yeah.
Well, everybody, I haven't even looked at the chat. Has anyone been watching the chat? I've just, I've
I've
been
been
so
in and
immersed.
out. Yeah,
Yeah,
not really.
I've just been so immersed in this conversation,
Hey, Jen, how long have you come back since yesterday?
It just from the energy.
Yeah, it was yesterday you got back?
Yeah, this has been the first time. I think it's been about 2 weeks. Going through this like birthing process, going way out on the map and coming back in again. But
End of the month.
It was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday that I could sort of just say, okay, let go.
Yeah. How do you feel
Welcome back.
Like,
We've
is
been
it-
waiting on you.
Are you feeling like you're like, how do you feel now though? Yes, you let go, but do you feel changed or
yes, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Transformed. Transformed. I feel don't see it all. I feel light. I feel I feel very light. I feel like there's a lot more to come through and in that from that transition. But I feel detached, if that's the right word for it, in a good way though, in a really good way, in that I can sort of move around the territory without any sort of tentacles rooting in. So yeah, it's an interesting feeling of this one. It really is. And it came in like, and that's me off the map. Just, I didn't need any technology. I was just feeling into the energies, and Wayne picked up on Wayne so much, knew that his channel was going to be okay. Gaia let me know, and I was like, what? And I was already in this intercession, so I joined in on that, tag teamed on that, and so it's been just a merry dance of all these energies. But straight away it was like, no, it's going to be fine. And of course,
all fine.
Was fine. Yeah. So yeah, light. I should feel exhausted for the very little sleep that I've gotten. I don't at all. But I'm looking forward to meditating and going to bed in a timely fashion tonight. I'm really looking forward to it. I've prepared myself for it, and had lavender out and sage, been drying sage anyway. So just being in the energy of, okay, now I'm preparing myself for sleep. So yeah, I'm in a restful place. Thank you.
Excellent. Good.
Great glow on you too, kid. Looks good. And Theodore, you are just a bundle of life.
Yeah, he is. It's like trying to hold a little atom bomb, just vibrating off everything, aren't you?
He has such a beautiful energy. I mean, it just, it's palatable. Well, ladies, another hour, boy, just gone by. Thank all of you. Every one of you are just, I am truly, as I have said this many times, one of the most wealthiest beings in this realm. To be surrounded by such friendship and wisdom, not a bad way to go through each day.
Not bad at all.
Thank you, Wayne.
Not bad. Thank you.
Thank y'all. Yeah.
We appreciate you, Wayne.
Yeah. Yes.
What was it they say? What is it? It takes a village. What was the saying they used to say? It takes a village. Is that what that's?
Raise a child. Yeah.
It takes a village to raise a child. Yeah. Okay. So I'm still a kid.
With Jen saying how light she feels, I use in light in as a feather instead of the light as in the light that's on. It's in light and make sure that you're as light as a feather.
Yeah,
instead
that's
of
what
being
it feels like. Yeah, I'm not heavy, basically. I don't feel
that's
heavy.
it. That's what it is. That's really, you become light, and that's
you ain't heavy. You're my sister.
We are in the full moon energy right now too. So so you're gonna feel a little bit. So like you said, your friend feeling a little giddy. That's the full moon energy coming in right there. So. Enjoy, everybody.
Yeah, everybody. I know tonight the ladies on Galactic 7 Celestial Gateway. Did I get that backwards?
7.
Andromeda 7. Yeah. And then Saturday night is Robert D with the Milky Soul Tribe. Nina, you're on Sunday. And
are you coming on?
I have a obligation of dinner.
Okay, all right. We'll manage without you then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Robert's having
That's
his
okay.
show's going to be an Easter special too, like Nina's doing. He's going to do on Saturday night on the Milky Way Soul Tribe. He's going to.
Oh,
I've been
nice.
wishing everyone a happy Ether. Happy
Yeah.
Ether.
Happy
Happy
Easter.
Ostara. Yeah,
I have to go to dinner, but
Yeah.
anyway.
yeah. Well,
You don't look so happy about it.
Oh,
Not
geez,
cooking
boy.
it. So if I
Oh,
don't,
yeah. So you're
if I
not
don't-
going to dinner. You're
because I'm not saying that other people can cook, but there's some people who, and I know what we're going to, that
And it's not good.
I pray in tongues over the food before I eat it.
Nina,
Y
when
soto
are
no
you
pasan-
having-
says, you know, you have to sanctify it
Oh,
before you
boy.
put it in your mouth. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't
That's
do
right.
fast food, but I'd swing through Taco Bell or something before I go there and get my belly full.
so,
Yeah,
you know,
eat
Nina,
before
when
you
are you
go.
on Sundays?
I confuse the energy of my food when I start speaking in tongues. They're going to, what the fuck is he saying?
Yeah.
All right. Much joy to everyone. Ladies, stay with me. Thank you, everyone. I didn't see any in the chat, so we'll just see you on Monday, or if not